Hello guys, you're welcome to Lizama's Stitches. My name is Amaka. Thanks for being here. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be notified. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to make a short BUBU dress with keyhole and belt. So let's get started. So I've drawn some lines already. I'm just going to tell you what I did. My shoulder to my waistline is 17 inches. And this is my hip line. My shoulder to my hip is 25 inches. The length of the dress is 31 inches. And I have 2 inches hemming allowance here. Now, this fabric is folded into 4. Let me show you how I folded this fabric. I folded it this way. I folded it this way and folded it again. So the fabric is folded into 4. So what I have here, it's folded into 4. I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. Now my shoulder measurement divided by 2 gives you 7.5 inches plus 14.5 inches, which is my sleeve length, gives you 22 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance, which I'm going to use to fold here, gives you 23 inches. So what I'm working with is 23 inches. Now, another way to do this is by taking your measurement from your center back to wherever you want your sleeve to end. That's another way you can do it. I'm going to take my neck measurement. Now my neck width is 4 inches. And my neck depth is 4 inches. The front neck and the back neck is the same thing. So I'm going to connect it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to impute my armhole measurement. Now because of the style of this dress, I'm going to add 3 inches to my divided armhole measurement. You can decide to use 2 inches, but I'm using 3 inches. Now my armhole measurement is 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 gives you 8 inches plus 3 inches for ease gives you 11 inches. So what I'm working with is 11 inches. So this is my chest point. Now this is my chest point. I'm going to extend it to this point. On this point, which is my chest point, I'm going to take my bust measurement on my chest point. Now my bust circumference is 38 inches. 38 divided by 4 gives you 9.5 inches. Plus 1 inch gives you 10.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 10.5 inches here. Now on my waist point, my waist circumference is 32 inches. 32 divided by 4 gives you 8 inches. Plus 1 inch for ease gives you 9 inches. Take note, this thing I'm doing is on the right side of this fabric. My hip, I'm going to come down to the hip. My hip circumference is 40 inches. 40 divided by 4 gives you 10 inches. Plus 1 inch for ease gives you 11 inches. Now the same measurement I have here, I'm going to bring it down here. On the length of the gown, I'm going to take my hip measurements. My hip circumference is 40 inches. 40 divided by 4 gives you 10 inches plus 1 inch for ease. Now, I'm going to come over to this point. On my waistline, this dress is going to have a keyhole. Now on this point, on this waist point, this is my waist measurement plus 1 inch for ease. On this line, I'm going to come up by 1 inch and come down by 1 inch, because this is where my belt will be. This is where my belt will be. So I have 2 inches here. From this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch. 1 inch, because I don't want my belt, I don't want my hole to be too big. Now it's the size of your belt that will determine the size of your hole. Or you might want your hole to be big, you might want it to be small. I want mine to be small. So I'm going to draw a circle. From here I'm going to draw a circle like an oval shape. I'm going to connect this point to this point, to this point, to this point, and this point. Now this is how I'll do it. Connect this point to this point. So I'm going to open this hole, and this is how I'll do it. So I've opened it. Now another thing I'm going to do is to transfer. I'm going to transfer this line. I'm going to transfer it to the other side of this fabric. You know, this fabric, this is the right side of this fabric, and you're not cutting this part. So I'm going to transfer this line to the other side so that I can open the gown. Now the reason for transferring the line is so that it will be easy for you to sew. So now this is how I'll do it. Now this point, this is my chest point. I'm going to open this part like this, and I will mark. I will mark here. Then this place is okay. Then this is my hip point. I'm going to open here and mark. The same thing I'm going to do here. So I'm going to open up the dress. So I'm going to connect these points. These points that I marked, I'm going to connect them together. Now this is how I'll do it. This is the waist point. I'm going to connect this one to the waist to the hip, and the hip to the hem. The reason for doing this is so that when I'm sewing, I'll have something to sew on. I will know how to sew. I'll have a guide. I'll follow the mark and sew. So when I'm sewing, I'll follow the mark and sew. So that's the reason for it. Now I'm going to show you how to. Okay, let me cut off the neck. Then I'll show you how to sew this. getting the neck, the next thing you need to do is to shape this part. Now this is how you do it. You can use your free hand to shape it. Shape it to the hem, curve it to the hem. Just curve it to the hem and you cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out. So after doing that, the next thing you do is I'm going to show you how you're going to sew your keyhole. Now this is what you will do. You're going to open your dress. Remember that this is the right side of your dress and this is the wrong side. Now you're going to open to the wrong side, and now let me move it to this side. Now when you open to the wrong side, this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your hand inside and bring out the right side, and you do the same thing to this part. Now I'm touching the right side. You bring out the right side and join it together, right side facing right side. You join the right side facing right side. Let me illustrate with pin. Now you're going to, now this is what you do. When you take it to your sewing machine, you join the right side facing right side and you sew. You sew. Now this is it. This is the right side. This is the right side. You bring it together, right side facing right side. Just the way I'm pinning it, that is how you're going to sew it. You sew. You're going to do the same thing. That is how you keep doing it. The way I'm pinning it now, when I take it to my sewing machine, I'll just sew it. This is the right side, this is the right side. Join it together, right side facing right side. Still going to pin here. Now I've pinned it all around. So this is it. Now after sewing, this is what it's going to look like. Look at your hole. You have the hole already. So this is it. After doing this, take it to your sewing machine, sew it round from the inside. Then you turn it again and you sew here. You sew this line and sew this line, and you turn to the other side and do the same thing. After doing that, I'm going to turn my neck with bias. I'm going to use bias to finish my neck, the neckline. Then I'm going to hem here. I will hem here and hem here. This is what I have after sewing. This is my blouse. I've used bias to sew the neck, to turn the neck. Now this is the keyhole. This is the hole. I've finished it. This is it. Now this is what it looks like after sewing. This is my belt. This is the keyhole. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.